time to love life and time to give love, and you will feel much better. Time to plant your seeds and see how they grow. The sun shines, there lies the answer. Time to share your wealth, that's the kind of love you can give from one another. Oh, he's there, all you have to do is listen. There may be days in your life when you think you got no place to turn to, and you just can't make it alone. Call his name, call his name. Lord, on his way. Time to live life. Oh, oh, oh.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is now time for the Indie Live Spot right here on your station GHP Radio, your independent music source.
More than I can take, and you love me more than anyone has ever loved me, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that I could be more of what you need. You live deep inside my heart, touch me more than anyone has ever touched me, and I'm sighing and I'm denying that you are more than I could ever see. You are more than all my dreams, you're more than my imagination, and the more that I see you, the more you're more, you are more, you're more, you're more. Ooh. You live deep inside my soul, more than anyone has ever known me, and I'm feeling this feeling that you are more than I could ever see. Ooh, you are more than all my dreams, you're more than my imagination, and the more that I see you, the more you are more, you're more, you're more. You are more, you are more, you're more. More than my imagination, more than I could ever see. You are more than I dreamed of. You mean the world to me. Oh, oh, oh. before heading across the bay. I just can't wait, just can't wait. Sunset heading north, the music sure is grooving. Cruising the Golden Gate, the view is so romantic. We'll check into our room, flowers for me, spinnakers at 8. I just can't wait, just can't wait. Your eyes are incredibly so clear. The stars are out, moon shining in your hair. Boy, I know I just can't wait to hold you close in my arms tonight. Sausalito nights, magic's all around us, baby. Sausalito nights, you and I together, baby. Sausalito nights, magic's all around us, baby. Sausalito nights, love is around us, baby. Strolling boardwalks cool, hand in hand with you, babe. That smile on your face, it's so captivating. Your arms around my waist, the city lights are bright across the way. Just can't wait, just can't wait. Head back to our room, we'll slip into our silkies. Relax, go light the fire, or a spot martinis. Make love until the dawn, sleep till noon, breakfast will be late. Oh baby, oh baby, baby. The incomparable Nick Corleone. Keep it right there. stronger all the time. You unlock the door to my heart. Oh, baby. Me and you and me. That's the way it's got to be, baby. It's a real love thing. It's a real love thing.
Here we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Indie Live Spot right here on GHP Radio. And glad you can tune in. Glad to have you all here for today. We've got a special guest today. We're going to be talking to her in just a moment. Of course, my co-hosts Griselda Medina and Joyce Spencer is here as well. And of course, our music guest today is Kea Michaels. And we're going to talk with her. She's got a great new single out. You guys are going to get to hear that at the end of the interview. So let's just go ahead and get started. Of course, before that, let me go ahead and just give you a rundown on some of that music you heard at the beginning of the show. Lots of good music, too. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. You just got through hearing a song by Ziza Miller. It's from her latest CD, This Journey of Love, and that was actually the title of the song that I played today for you. Before that, you heard Simplicity by Yvonne J. Wonderful track. And also you heard the sounds of, let's see here, let me get my lineup straight here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, and then you also heard some music from Rena Scott. It was called A Love Thing. And then you also heard a new one from Amarillo, Santiago. And I knew Gris was gonna laugh at that. I didn't say.
No,
I didn't.
Amarillo.
Yeah, Amarillo.
Okay.
And it was actually called Sausalito Nights, and it features on guitar Nick Coleon, a great guitar player, and then also you heard the sounds of Tia Harris with "Fly Away with Me," another great artist. I mean, all these artists are great.
Okay.
And then you heard the top that kicked off that whole set was Brigitte Rideau, and we've had her on the show before. In fact, that was one of the guests that Joyce referred for the show. It was a great guest, and the name of that song was called More. And so anyway, let's go ahead and welcome our guest today, Kea Michaels. Welcome to the show.
Kea?
Hello, Kea. You there?
Uh-oh.
Hear me?
There you are.
Oh, thank God.
There you are.
What silence crickets were doing their chirping. I was like, oh no!
Thought we lost you there for a second.
Just a few seconds of dead air. That's all.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Kea.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Gary. And thank you also these two wonderful ladies right here whose names that I don't know.
Okay.
My name is Griselda. No, I'm kidding.
They're switching it up.
That's too much. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Hi.
I'm Griselda, or Grizz, as people call me.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with the Gris.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah. So, like I said again, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you on, and
Thank
you. We really love your new single, "I Love You." Of course, we've been playing that on the show. On some recent shows, and we thought it'd be great to have you on and just kind of talk to you, try to find out some things about you and what's going on with your projects. I know you're still working on more music for your project. Isn't that correct?
Well, I Love You is a single off of an EP of 3 that's complete. I'll be releasing the other 2 possibly next year, but in the meanwhile, I'm working on another project, which is my full album.
Okay.
And I haven't started that as of yet, so I'm hoping to get started in a couple of weeks, and I'm very excited about that.
Nice. Well, that's great. Now, this single, "I Love You," is this your debut single?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this is the first time you put a single out, huh?
Yes, the first time
Nice.
in my whole life. Yes.
Wow. Well, you sound like it sounds like you've been in it for a while. I mean,
Yeah, well, I've been performing locally since 2010 or 2011. And I've been singing all my life, but however, I took music seriously in 2009.
Okay.
So I've been on the scene here, you know, with the band ever since 2010 or 2011.
Okay.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
Very
We
nice.
have stories.
Yeah.
I came back in 2010.
What'd you say?
I said we have similar stories because I came back professionally in 2010.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes, after laying everything down for 20 years, give or take. Yeah, I know. The saxophone was in bad shape, honey. Had to go do an overhaul.
It needed a renovation.
Oh, major. I you know, dusted off and got back in. It's a journey, isn't it?
It's a journey, and sometimes you need that break so that you could sit down and work on some things and think some things through before you go full speed ahead again.
Sure.
So I firmly believe that.
Okay, well, why don't you take us back and kind of give us some history background as far as like when did you become a singer and all that stuff? Have you always been interested in singing songs and things like that when you were coming up as a youngin?
Well, I've been singing. Oh, you stop it! I've been singing.
Young and part. Sorry.
I had to throw that in there.
My vocals out because I'm laughing. No, I've been singing all my life, but I didn't grow up in a church. I didn't grow up singing in a church. Was never into any kind of competitions or anything like that. But I kind of my inspiration came from my community, came from being a black female, growing up in an inner city black neighborhood and seeing the struggle, but seeing the strength inside of the struggle. You know, I know that when I grew up, there were black families. On every block, there were black families. There was a father in the household. There was a black man in the household that worked and took care of the families. Took care of the wife and took care of the children. And I saw a rapid decline in the 90s. And I was a little kid in the 90s, and I saw a rapid decline, and I seen that there was a lot of divorces. You know, I think that the divorce rate had went up in the black community, you know, and I think a lot of that had to do with the struggle, the struggle with racism, lack of employment. And for the black men who were working, they had to deal with so much on the job, being talked down to, being belittled. And I believe that struggle and that frustration and that stress, they would bring that home, you know, bring it home to the family. And I think that the family suffered because of it. I know because my parents were married for a very long time, and, you know, my dad worked in a steel mill, and he would come home and he would be under so much stress, you know, so much stress because he felt like he wasn't being treated equal. And that caused so much turmoil in the relationship with him and my mom. And it caused issues with the family as well. You know, I'm the youngest of three. Okay. So to make a long story short, I saw a rapid decline, and families, black families it seemed like they were breaking apart, and the single mothers were like on the rise. And I always had a deep love for, hate to say this, but for black relationships. I wanted to keep them together. I wanted to see black man and black woman remain together. And so I started writing poetry at the age of 12. I started writing poetry, and my poetry was centered around love and relationships. And throughout the years, I would take my poems and I would create songs out of them. They sounded so good. Well, they sounded so good to me that, I made them into songs. And in 2009, I was a mom at that time, still a mom, and I decided to take my musical career seriously. I sought out a vocal coach, the late Elaine Kate, just a wonderful woman, and we trained on and off probably from 2009 to maybe 2014, off and on. I knew that I had, I ran into some car situations probably in 2010, and I couldn't get out to her anymore, so I enrolled in the Jazz Workshop Inc. It was kind of like a program. Well, it was a program that taught vocalese, that taught instrumental training. But the funny thing about it is, let me go back to Elaine. When I went out to her, I had never sang in front of anybody before in my life. I always sang inside of the home. And I was so nervous, Gary and Joyce, what's your name, Joyce, right? And Chris, I was so nervous. And I never knew anything about vocal ranges or scales or anything like that. And I'll never forget, there was one thing that she said to me. She said, Kea, she says, has your parents ever heard you sing before? And I'm like, probably when I was little, but no. And she said, wow. She said, you have a gift. And funny part about it was that I was doing R&B music. I was singing Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, but she was more of a jazz singer. She was a jazz singer. She was a professional jazz singer. She was involved in theater, opera, and she did a lot of show tunes. So I kept saying to myself, how's she going to work with me? What does she know about Luther Vandross? What does she know about these artists? I wanted to do the classic R&B tunes. And so to make a long story short, it was so funny because her and I worked together, and she, taught me more of, we would do songs like The Sound of Music and Somewhere Over the Rainbow, more of your kind of like your show tunes and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I from South Pacific, maybe.
I know, right?
Yeah, and the funny part about it was that I never dibbled with jazz music. I never really, because I didn't grow up in that era, and my parents didn't listen to jazz in the home. My dad, he's a musician, he's a guitar player and a singer, and my mom is a violinist. But the music I heard in the home was like Kool and the Gang. I heard the Doobie Brothers, and so that had more of an influence on me.
Right.
And when she mentioned me doing jazz, I thought that was bizarre. I said, I don't want to, I don't want to tackle that. So after probably a year or probably 9 months of working with her, my car went out and I couldn't get to her. So I enrolled in the Jazz Workshop Inc. And in that program, I took some vocalese, and I wasn't there long. I was just there for like a semester. And then I wanted to do the bass. I wanted to do the bass guitar because I love the bass guitar. I always wanted to sing and play. And so I didn't do that for long because it seemed like it was too much. I'm trying to do vocals and then I'm trying to do bass. So I stopped doing the bass and continued with the vocals. And here I go again. I ran into a situation. This is called the Jazz Workshop Inc. And there I was wanting to do my Stevie Wonder. And I wanted to do the stylistics and, the classic R&B. And the founder the late Harold Young, had said to me, "You have like a jazz voice," and he said, "Why don't you, learn some?" No, he said, "Learn some jazz tunes, Kea." I still thought he was bizarre, but it was so funny. Everything that I sang, there was this jazz undertones in, and I didn't know where it came from because I never listened to jazz.
DNA.
To make
it's in your blood.
So, to make a long story short, in 2000 and probably 10, well, let me say this. What I did learn from the jazz workshop, because we had a bunch of recitals, I learned how to get up there on stage and sing in front of an audience and all that stuff like that. So in 2011, excuse me, I said to myself, I started sitting in with different bands, going to different clubs. That was new to me. I was scared to get up there, but once I got up there, I wasn't scared anymore. And I said to myself, you know what, Kea, it's time for you to start hiring musicians and start doing this on your own. Because I sat in for probably maybe 4 months. And I said, wow, I could do this. Like, I'd hear the so-called, it was so funny, I'd hear the so-called professional singers get up there, and they would sit in with the band too, and I couldn't tell them apart. I said, okay, you're the professional singer and I'm the amateur, but the only thing that was different was the fact that they had more stage presence and more experience, but the vocals weren't any better. So I said, you know what? I can sit in with bands every year, or I can get to the point to where I said enough is enough. I'm going to go out there and do this. And that's what I did. So in 2011, I believe I went out there and I started performing, doing coffee shops, different events, clubs, outdoor events, and that's what started.
Exercise your chops, right?
Exactly. That's what started it all. And so all along, I had my written material, and I kept saying to myself, okay, I'm doing all these cover songs, but what about my own music? So in 2015, I think 2014, I sought out, or I tried to seek, I tried to find a producer, and I kind of gave up because we're kind of limited here. I'm in the Pittsburgh area, so there's not a lot to basically go around. And I was trying to find a producer, and I couldn't find anyone. I did a demo with a gentleman who's like a big-time rock star, so we're totally different. He didn't understand how to do my genre of music, and so in 2015, that's when God started to work. I found 2 or 3 different producers, and I was devastated and frustrated because none of these guys, I had reached out to them and they didn't even respond back. I think 1 or 2 of them responded back, and they kind of stood me up. I was supposed to meet with them. I didn't get like a return phone call. So I was devastated, ladies, and Gary. And so I said, well, maybe this is not what God wants me to do. Then lo and behold, I go to a church. I go to my local church. It's my first time there. And after the service was over, the pastor's daughter and I struck up a conversation. Now, this is my first time there. I didn't know those people from a can of paint. And struck up a conversation with her, and she started, hey.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little cool. But, and then, okay. So then, or from a pack of Kool-Aid. No. I'm sorry. No,
Sorry, that was my bad.
Okay.
I had she started playing her music for me, you know, after the church service. We were still inside of the pews or inside the church, and she started playing a song for me. And I said, who the heck did this? And when she told me who had did this, I said, that's the kind of music that I want to do. So God, that was God. So there it was that she had told me about a bass player who was very talented. He not only played the bass, but he could play every instrument. He does the keys. And it was him and another gentleman who was the minister of music in one of the churches. And she gave me the contact information. I didn't think she was going to do that because, you know, sometimes people don't want to see anybody else get anywhere or anything like that. But she gave me the bass player's contact information. I contacted him right away, and he did respond back several times, but he got so busy. He said, you know what? I'm going to pass you down to the minister of music. And when he passed me down to the minister of music, that's when the ball started rolling. Met with the minister, called him up. His name is Dwayne Fulton, fabulous producer. This guy does everything from training operas to, you know, just the whole church choir. And it was just amazing. I came in, met with him, and it was like heaven on earth. We clicked right away musically. And we put together my original. The first song we started with was my I Love You. And we put that together, and we did 2 other songs, and all 3 are part of an EP titled Relationships. And you know, we mastered and got the product and everything together earlier this year, and here I am sitting here with beautiful people today.
All right, all right. Well, that's great. That's a great story.
So, a quick question: who are the musicians that in the recording session that are on the EP?
Okay. Dwayne Fulton, he's the producer and the keyboard player. Just fabulous. We have Kenzie Prezant. He's the bass player. We have J.R. Jones, I think. He's the drummer. I think his last name's Jones. And we have Mike Davis on guitar. And we have Kea Michaels. Yeah, I'm doing the lead and the background vocals.
Okay. Cool.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Did you have? Did Dwayne have a studio? Did you go to a studio to record?
You know what? We actually, it's so funny. We recorded in the church.
Really?
We record. Yes, there's a booth.
Oh, you brought that R&B in the church?
Yeah, we brought it up in the church. You know.
Because Joyce has a story about that.
Too bad they didn't throw any holy water on us. Yeah, we were up in the church in a little booth up there, and we made magic in that booth. And yes, we did it in the church. And later on, well, actually, he created these tracks. I don't know where he created them at, probably in his home. I believe he has a studio in his home, and he did the tracks in his home. I came back in, you know, to the church, got up in our little studio booth there, and it was really cool. And later on, we had put the musicians on them, on all 3 of the tracks. You know, so he pulled together, you know, he pulled the musicians together, and voila.
Okay. And the lyrics are, you wrote the lyrics, right?
I wrote the lyrics. These are my lyrics, my arrangements. Because what I normally do, if I normally sit down and I normally record myself, and that's what I do, and I arrange a song. I arranged how I wanted it to go. I arranged how I want the bridge to go. But the funny part of all three of the songs, no, I'm going to say the first song is that vamp at the end. That was Mr. Fulton's idea. He doesn't remember, but he put that vamp on it at the end. You know, we didn't know how we were going to take it out. And, you know, he spin on it. Yeah, he put his spin on it, you know, because it was so funny when I came in with it. And he said, Kea, that kind of sounds like I think he mentioned like a Angela Bofield. And I wasn't too familiar with her, Angela Bofield.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, because, you know, when I grew up in the 90s, I was more so around the time when Jodeci was out, the rap industry, you know, we had Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs, Kwame, you know, Slick Rick, you know.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know
Can't touch this.
some of those singers like that. Say it again, who?
I said, can't touch this.
Can't touch. Oh yeah, MC Hammer.
I mean, MC Hammer stole his song, of course.
Yes. Oh yeah. And I was a big MC Hammer fan too. I thought he was very handsome. Well, that's the old me. I thought he was handsome, but
The old me.
Not what do you mean? Not anymore.
Yes, honey. Everything has changed.
That's a
It ain't no more hammer time, huh?
No, exactly. There's no more Hammer time. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I'm warm. Sorry.
I swear. But yeah, like I grew up when the R&B kind of took a twist. It changed from the legendary, from the classic R&B, which was your Earth, Wind and Fire, the Stylistics, the Isley Brothers. You know, when I was up,
Isley Brothers.
Oh, Isley. I thought
Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire. That was more that classic. That was that classic R&B.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But when R&B turned from classic to urban, young, ghetto, it was different. You know, we had the Jodeci, we had the guys with the baggy jeans on the set, we had the guys with the tattoos, and the guys that didn't care about taking off their shirts and putting 2 earrings in the ear. So, I know, it's just, what did you say?
Bobby Brown. He did that.
Yes, exactly. So I didn't get a chance to learn about Angela Bofield and some of the others. Though I still listen to songs like In Between the Sheets. Yes, I was 12 years old. I didn't know what it was about. Only thing...
Joyce.
See that look on Joyce's face?
No, I was like, oh, did I do that out loud?
No.
Oh,
No. The only thing I knew that it was about relationship between a woman and a man, and it was sensual.
Well.
It was sex. And that's the only thing that I stop it. Oh my gosh, you're killing me. That's the only thing that I knew, that I had a love for that kind of music. Even though my peers were listening to some of the rap and all that stuff like that, you know, like Eric B. and Rakim and some of the others, I had a love, you know, for love. I'm going to say love making music. Yeah. And I was 12 years old, but that stayed with me through the years, Gary, and Joyce. God, I keep forgetting her name. The Grit.
Grizz.
We made it easy for you. Grits.
Say it again.
Grits. Just think grits and leave the T out.
Okay.
Great, I'm food now. And soulful food at that too.
I know, right? I love grits too. Tell me you got some grits over there. You have to send them to me in the mail.
That's all right. With some shrimp, girl.
Oh, yo. See now, I've never had that.
Oh, you ought to. It's good.
Louisiana style for her.
That southern food here, we don't. But yeah, I took a love for that kind of music. Listening to the Isley Brothers and listening to Marvin Gaye. You know, Marvin Gaye is a huge inspiration. Again, I'll say it. He's my favorite. He's my favorite singer. You know, I love Marvin Gaye. But
well, you know, you can't go wrong with that type of music, because you know that era was
classics.
Yeah, it was just so classic. And you know, even when the change did come, you know, with the hip hop artists and stuff, well, a lot of them revert back.
That was Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
A lot of them revert back, and they used to sample a lot of stuff from
that's true.
artists and things like that. So you know, it's just something that when you have a classic type of music that just never dies. It's there, and
it was so well written, so
back.
well performed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's why their music is still ongoing, because it's that good.
Yes,
I agree.
It survives the ages because it's that good.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Well, you know, a lot of it, like Bruno Mars is bringing back a lot of the music
of them.
in the 70s.
Yep.
Because what was it, Uptown Funk You Up? When I heard that, all I could think of was Mars Day and the Time.
Right.
Exactly, right. It had that feel.
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, he's going to get sued, because when Pharrell Williams and what's the other guy's name? They were sued.
Robin
Gaye's estate.
Robin Thicke, yeah.
Robin Thicke.
Yeah, Robin Thicke, when they did
Well,
that.
I heard the song.
Right.
I didn't think he copied it. You know, I have musician friends that feel, yes, he did. But I don't think he did. Now, did he copy the genre? Yes. And you can't copyright chord progressions, and you can't copyright genre.
Right.
So I was really surprised they won that lawsuit, but I think what's happening is now we're evolving. That era of music, like you said, Gary, was so good that we're taking the young people coming in their late teens and 20s going back. Because which one is the younger one? Justin Bieber or Timberlake? Timberlake was the one.
Yes.
Suit and tie?
Right.
Suit and tie. Very old school type R&B.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that even though you still have your electronica, you still have the rock, I noticed a trend in going back and grabbing that. Of course, Prince is not original, because he, if you will, grabbed it from James Brown. He was funky before all of them were born.
Yep.
So
Right. Oh yeah.
Yep.
The godfather of funk.
yeah, so I like the funk thing coming back, R&B, and of course we can go all the way back to Sam Cooke.
Hello.
So I know, right? I saw you.
Hello.
Yes. See, now I just learned about Sam Cooke not too long. Yeah, I just learned about.
Darling, you send me. Oh yeah, and another Saturday night. Yep.
See, it's funny because I know the song, but I just never knew who the artist was until I did some of the research. Yes.
Yeah.
So that music and those eras are just, they mean so much, especially to the Black community, because that was a time where the struggle was very strong.
Right.
You know, and there was so much going on. But I firmly believe that nobody can duplicate that, because that was a spirit then, you know, and that was a different day, you know, and even the mentality was completely different then.
Right.
You know, we went from men looking a certain way with suits and dressing a certain way to now the pants hanging off the derriere. So
hello, yes.
It's just completely changed. So I think that everything has changed. How they think has changed. So of course the music is going to go off of how you think.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to go off how you think. So I think that, you know, even the ones that are doing some of that music, they're not doing it the same way because their mentality is different. The way that they view women is different. Even when I hear, I'm just going to say, even when I hear, even like the Bruno Mars tunes, you know, there's a way, how do I put it? It's funky.
The delivery is different. The genre might be there, but the delivery is different.
The delivery in the lyrics. The lyrics, I believe, they are demeaning,
right?
To that,
I mean,
you know, when it comes to women, you know, and that was totally different than the way it was, years ago.
Yeah,
and
true.
Exactly. And because you guys brought up Bruno Mars, because his very first song, Just the Way You Are, I never got into it because it's just the music was just kind of weird for me, and I couldn't get to the lyrics and really pay attention. And now years later, that's when he exploded and all that. So now years later, now there's this gentleman trio. They're all tenors, and they're called Gentry. And they did that song, but they did it their version, and it's slower, and it's just much more romantic, and it was gorgeous. And I'm like, is that what he was singing all these years? I wasn't thinking that. I couldn't get past the rhythm of that song because I just couldn't hear the lyrics because of the way it was delivered. Right. Like you said, Joyce, the delivery was so different. I'm like, okay, I like his other stuff, but that one I just couldn't get past it. Could not get past. I was like,
Probably listened because it's just like Miley Cyrus when she came out with Wrecking Ball. I didn't pay attention to it when I saw her on TV. I just happened to be watching a talk show, and she saw a new CD coming out. She sang one of the songs, and I went, "Oh my goodness, this young lady can really sing!" And why didn't I do that before? And I realized it was because Wrecking Ball had too many distractions.
Right.
Yep. Be too popish. You're naked on the ball. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Right.
You see, and I think I never gave her any credit because for me, she had too much drama going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, besides
was to get more people. Of course, it was all showmanship, but still, it was a distraction for me. And when I heard her sing a song fully clothed, and I could focus on her talent, I realized this young lady could really sing.
I know. It's crazy though.
Yeah, because I remember seeing her when she was on the Hannah Montana thing, and she could sing. And then, of course, her voice got a little bit more mature when she got older. But you just couldn't get past because she was like this sweet little kid. All of a sudden, like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Where happened to this nice, little girl over here? And not the niceness went away.
Right.
I almost want to say you don't need all because she really is talented.
She doesn't need to be all, exposing party parts or going all that route. I'm like,
I'm like, okay, all right, that's way out there. Swing back and forth. I thought, ooh, and I'm just amazed that I never really gave her. I guess I never gave her a chance because there was too many distractions for me. For somebody else, it might have worked. But I hear guys say, "Oh, I don't care if she can sing, but she looks good."
Exactly.
And I think that's a shame because actually you sold your soul in a way.
Yeah.
You sold your soul. Because I remember a guy told me, "Yeah, Joyce sells sex on stage. Use it, girl." I said, "I don't sell sex. I sell sax. Let's get it straight."
I love it. I love it.
Nope. And if that's what I have to do, I can die, go to heaven, and look at it and still have no regrets that I didn't do that.
Right.
So I'm not comfortable with it, and I'm not going to be forced into doing something. Because I look at it this way. No matter what you do, you represent. Each one of us represents somebody.
It's true.
Whether it's your children.
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean? Everybody represents somebody. And what you do out there, and these days, everything is permanent record. Everybody has a cell phone. That's why sometimes when I see something stupid and I know I could get angry and fight, I went, no, I really don't want this circulating all over YouTube, so let me be angry.
Because it'll stay on YouTube.
I agree.
You gotta be careful out there.
I just think that the class and the professionalism, I think that we lost that, when it comes to music, and again, tied into what Joyce said, I believe that female artists believe that they have to come out with half clothes on. And the funny part about it is that when I take a look back at singers, and I have to bring her up, Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman didn't have to do, yes, there were parts where she had her cleavage showing, but for the most part, she never had to do any of that. Her voice, her stage presence sold her.
Yep.
And just her period. She was just a phenomenal.
Classy though.
Yeah, very classy.
Very classy.
Yes. I'm hoping, and that's what I want to do. I want to bring that classic look back. Like somebody commented about my album cover. You know, what's that all about? That's a classic look.
Yep.
I just that's what I wanted. I wanted to display the classic look. Maybe that look that was probably back in the 50s and the 60s. You know, I like the scarves. I love all those things. Scarves tied around the neck and all those things like that. And I want to bring that back. And I just want to show female artists and all artists today that you do not have to do this just to sell a record.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, the lyrics, because I have a little video that's on YouTube where I'm talking about the lyrics. The lyrics to me are so much more important. People are so impressed with the beat and the rhythm. What about those lyrics? What are you listening to? What are your children listening to? Can you play that music at a family picnic? Can you play it in a car with your 2-year-old or with your grandchildren?
Yes.
That should be important. But I think that we've lost that. Today's industry, I think that we've lost that. Though there are some artists that I can say, like Anthony Hamilton. I'm big on hardcore soul artists. Anthony Hamilton. There's some others that are still keeping it to a level of class. You know, and there's some others too. I can't speak on too many of the female artists because I really don't listen to them. I think the only female artist that I may listen to every now and then may be Jill Scott.
Yeah.
Now and then. But for the most part, I have to listen to the oldies because I believe that we're missing that. And so with this EP, if you hear the other 2 songs which aren't released yet, it's all of them sound like late 80s. It's a classic. It's a classic sound.
Nice.
And that's what I wanted to portray. I've run into so many people that are like, wow, you know, I can't listen to regular radio anymore because music just sucks. So they revert back to listening to what is it? iHeartRadio. I don't know what they listen to or something they plug up in their car or whatever. So, they have to listen to that or go off of their phones and plug
Pandora, tune in.
What's it called?
Pandora.
Tune in. Go to TuneIn, and I love my TuneIn app because I can put in smooth jazz and I find smooth jazz station. But you're right. I mean, and even terrestrial stations. I was listening to a local terrestrial station. It's the old R&B station. I ran some errands. I heard a song, got out my car, ran a few more errands, came back in. That same song was on again within hours, just 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
It is again, and I think that. Terrestrial, if they don't watch it, they're going to be an antiquated way of listening to music that's not popular.
That's right.
But we know about, what is that term called when you money under the table to play music?
Payola,
yes, payola. Well, they've kind of legalized it, saying, okay, no, we're not doing payola, but we're buying advertising or something. They found a way to get through it. But that's what's happening. So independent artists like us, we very seldom find us on terrestrial stations. Yeah, I just have a few. One I didn't even know was playing. It was a guy on LinkedIn and inboxed me. Oh, thanks for the connection. I heard your music and a radio station in Alabama somewhere, and I didn't even know about it, which is cool. I'm not complaining. Trust me, But I'd rather go after internet stations because people are putting them in their apps and accessible, as opposed to terrestrial. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's all about, consumers' choice. People get tired of hearing the same old, program
every hour, pretty much.
Yeah, and then especially when it's not very, it's not variety of stuff that people want to hear,
Yes.
And they're cussing. Yeah, and the thing is, even on Pandora, let's say Pandora Sirius Radio, you still may have to understand that terrestrial station is still under the
They edit the FCC. Yeah.
Yeah, FCC regulations still follow them. Whereas you're on Sirius Radio, you find out that those songs you didn't think had profanity.
The original version of it. Edit.
Yes.
I mean, dropping the F-bomb, and when I heard it on, because my kids coming up, you would hear their radio stations. I said, wait a minute, and I realized we're listening to Sirius Radio, and I thought, oh my goodness. So, do you need that? Did you really need to drop it like that, or drop it like it's hot, or whatever? You really need to talk about apple bottom jeans.
And you are so right. I just think that it's so oversaturated with the same artist. And it's completely, to be honest, it's boring.
Yes.
It's just really boring. And what they do is they do a disservice for the listener, because listeners don't know about me and they don't know about you, and they're missing out on such wonderful music.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yep.
But like us, go to TuneIn and Google, and sometimes I'll hear some saxophone, and I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
That's great. And I go, look, never heard of him before. And it's refreshing to hear new artists of variety and what have you. So,
Really is.
I'd like to. We only have one track of Keys.
We do. We're gonna save it for here in just a few minutes. In fact, we're gonna get into it, but I wanted to just kind of hear Kea out and.
Yeah, but I really do like that cover. It's so classy.
And we definitely want Kea, when you get your other releases, be sure to let us know, so we can, get that word out on that and play those as well. And earlier when we were talking to you, when we was talking about packaging and thing, your package is very beautiful on your CD. I love that.
Classy.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's bringing sexy back, but in a classy way.
Thank you so much. That's
It's glamour. It's glamour.
Is that what it looks like?
Like Hollywood, like Hollywood in the heyday back in the day.
Yeah, I'm thank you so much. I'm just so glad that I'm just so glad to be here. All three of you are just so awesome, and it's just this is so much fun, and it just feels so good that to have others that can relate. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you like the packaging. I just wish that my second release was available so that we were able to have two of the songs play. Right. But I'm working on a release date for that. I was thinking of the month of November, but however, that's the holiday season. And so I'm thinking of probably right after the New Year's. In which that'll give me time to, work on the cover art and hopefully put something nice together. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's go into the single, and then we'll come back and wrap it up with you. But before we do, why don't you kind of give us some insight as far as what went into doing this particular song, because it's beautiful.
Oh my goodness. I love you. It was actually written for my daughter. My daughter was born with how do I pronounce it? Hydronephrosis. And it's where one of her kidneys wasn't working. So I knew that in the ultrasound, it was the most devastating news you want to hear in your life, when you hear of kidney issues. And when I heard that in the ultrasound, I just was like, wait a minute, I'm a non-drinker, non-smoker, I don't lay around. So I said, okay, where did all this come from? So I knew that when I had her, that she would have to go in and have surgery to correct it. And so we went in and she had the surgery at 6 months and didn't correct it. So the song is about me as a woman looking for love, looking for that relationship, looking for that companion. And in the midst of that, searching and having those different heartbreaks happen, I felt like I was losing my child. And the song, in the song, I just come to grips with myself, being a mom that was going to school, working, and, wanting a loving and healthy relationship. I kind of felt to myself that at one point that I was going to lose her, because she went through years after the surgery, and she was doing just well. But in 2015, she took a turn for the worse. And I thought I was going to lose her. I did everything in my power, as a mom, from her diet to everything. And I just felt like, okay, Kea, were you not focusing on her? What if she doesn't live? Were you always focusing on chasing this and doing that, when maybe that love had been there all along? So in the song, even though it sounds like a love song, you can use this song in many different ways. This could be your relationship with God, or a relationship with a spouse who you didn't acknowledge, or I don't want to say acknowledge, but a relationship with the spouse that you didn't appreciate. And you begin to look back and say, wow, you were here, I was missing you, maybe I was looking here and looking there, and there you go. So in the song, I'm telling her that I love her, and there's one part of the song where I'm asking for her forgiveness, because she was my masterpiece. She's still here with us today. So that's what the song is about. The song is about me looking here and there, but the love is there all along. And I want to tell her and express to her that I love you and I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and let our listeners check it out, and then we'll come back and just get some information from you as far as where people can go to your site and all that kind of good stuff. We'll do the plug thing right after that, and everything. So let's go into it, and then we'll come right back. So for those of you who just tuned in, we are talking to our music guest today. It's Kea Michaels, and we're getting ready to play her single release, I Love You. And so y'all check it out, and we'll be right back. Okay, keep it locked right here.
You gotta hold on to that precious love. Hold on to your hopes and dreams. Hold on to love. Gotta hold on. I've been around here and there, everywhere, but I can't seem to find you anywhere. Maybe you don't exist, I don't know. Written on my lips, it's you I can't resist. Losing time, search my mind, standing alone, a shadow followed you, followed me. Mere mystique, show you me. This is you beside me. I love you. I need you. search my mind. Standing alone, a shadow followed mine. You followed me. Mistake, so unique, very unique. This is you beside me. I love you. Couldn't see my love's not yours, my love. Would you please forgive me, masterpiece? You're all I'll ever need. Losing time, I'm losing time. Search my mind. Standing alone, a shadow. You followed me, mystique, so unique, very unique. This is you beside me. I love you. I really love you. I need you. Ooh, I need you.
In the chat room.
Okay.
Yes.
In the chat room, Jose Sadat says nice vocals, Kea, and David McLaurin said he didn't want to miss out on hearing you, and so yeah, there's a lot of good comments in the chat room right now.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was
Love.
beautiful. Beautiful track.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And also from
Thank you,
Henry and 510 Jazz, aka John Vargas. It goes Falling in Love Here, such a gorgeous tune. Love the pull on the notes, Kea, is from Henry.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. I have to give that credit to my producer, Dwayne Fulton. I swear if ever he felt that I was not delivering it right, he said, Kea, again. I was like, oh God, Kea, again. Because this is what he does. He's a minister of music. So it's like he knows pitch. He knows pitch, and he knew if I was falling flat. He knew if I should maybe do something different. And if he's listening, I'd like for him to hear this. I just really, I'm so thankful for him, because I came in with the material, but he put, like he said, he put the meat in the bones of it, because I swear the material I came in with, it was all over the place. And it took for his expertise to pull it all together. and just a wonderful arranger, he's a composer. He's just an awesome guy. And plus, plus the guys that played on this, Mike Davis, and he's a guitar player, Kenzie Prezant, who's the bass player, and J.R. Jones on drums. And again, Mr. Dwayne Fulton, who's my producer, on the keys. Mm-hmm. So nice. Hear more. Once you hear the other songs, especially the second one. Now, the second song I'm not going to talk about, but it's not about love. So what's the love? So I think I'm going to bring the new year in with something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to bring the 2018 in with some hate. No. But seriously, I go from I love you to something different. But I'm not going to tell you right now. But okay. You'll hear the guitar player on it. This second tune is funky. Mm-hmm. It's got some funk in it. It's up tempo. Nice. And the second tune, I'm not playing. Okay. And this is for the lady. This is our message to you men. Get your acts together. Get your acts together. Because we tired. But that's it.
All sooky now.
Okay. Well, definitely.
Scared me. I thought my mama walked in the room. Ow.
Well, definitely make sure you let us know when that get ready to come out so we can have you back on with us. And it was such a pleasure to have you on today. And why don't you, before we let you go ahead and tell our listeners everything as far as where they can get this and your website information and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh my goodness. Joyce, she has a smile that just lights up a room. Let me quit. You just want to smile. You just want to laugh. No, but it's okay. Let's see. I Love You is available on iTunes, CD Baby, Google Play, as well as my website, which is www.KeaMichaels.com. You can also connect with me through Facebook on my Kea Soul Music page. It's at Kea Soul Music, and I spelled the Kea with an E, Kea. I'm also on Twitter, Kea_Soul Music, and I'm also on, I'm sorry. Twitter is Kea Soul Music. Instagram, it's Kea_Soul Music. And I also have a YouTube channel under Kea Michaels.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so definitely everybody go check Kea out at all those different places and support our artists, indies. That's what we do. We love to get support from listeners from all over. And as well as definitely check out her YouTube page as well, because you definitely have some of your performances on there as well, don't you, Kea?
Yes, I do. None of my original music just yet, but I do have some live performances that I, that I've done, and hopefully I'm going to have my music. I want to let everybody know this. I'm working on my music video for the song I Love You. So, I'm going to let you all know. Right. Hopefully I'll have that done and complete by the end of this month. And that's what I'm working on now. Working on that, and I'll be starting my my project for my full album. Which is going to be 10 to 12 songs.
Okay.
So I have a lot of work ahead of me, and I'm so appreciative, Gary. I'm so thankful. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Grits. What is it?
No T. Grizz.
Grizz. Okay, yeah, I was thinking of grits. Grits with some butter.
No. Thank you, Joyce.
I know, right? I didn't help at all. I didn't help at all. I just made it worse. Look at the intent of my heart, darling.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's just been a delight, and I hope to see you guys soon.
All right.
Real quick, Keith, Gil Cressy says, woohoo, Kea. And Yvonne J says, very nice, Kea.
Oh, thank you, Keith. What's up? What's up, home? No, what's up, homeboy?
Lord B. Shout out to Lord B.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to all, thanks to all the listeners. You know, this is just so beautiful, and it's so exciting. Thanks again for having me. I hope to be back very, very, very soon.
Well, we look forward to it.
Oh, yes. Can't wait to have you back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those of you out there, if you just tuned in and missed part of it, you'll be able to actually access it today, probably about an hour after the show. It usually takes for the archive to get in place, and then and also Kea, I'll be sure to get that to you too, so that way you can put it on your page, and maybe for some of the folks that you have following you didn't have a chance to hear you today, they will be able to do that. So we'll make sure that goes too. All right?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Have a blessed one.
Okay. You too. You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, I guess what we're gonna do is let me play just a couple tunes right quick, and then we'll come back. And Joyce, you have something for us today on our entertainment? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let me just do that.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, you guys are so beautiful. I love you guys.
But just hold up just a minute. Wait till we're off the air.
Okay. And we'll be right back. Y'all keep it locked right here on the Indie Live Spot.
Like a flower,
they need light from the sun. Yeah.
light from the sun.
I need to spend my life with you, 'cause you are the one for me, baby. Listen, you're not perfect in this relationship, baby. You are perfect for me. We go up, we go up, ooh, we come down. Keeps my feet, baby, keeps our feet here on the ground. We get high, we get high, and we get low, and we get low. When it comes to love, let it flow, let it flow.
We've been through good times, and we've been through bad.
together. Yeah.
A bossa song set in the bay. Everyone I meet there, the melody. Rhythm takes me down to Rio, then my heart breaks out in song. And I call it Bossa 510. This feeling is so strong, maybe today. Everything I see brings the notes right to me. All the tourists wanna know why his music is so strong. Never heard of Bossa 510. Music all around here. It's reflected in the water, from the mountains to the hills, from the East Bay. I see cityscape and countryside. It's a state of mind. The Bossa 510.
2, 3, 4, What you know about going out sunsets, kicking back the late night, listening to trumpets. Mountain Winery, your favorite song with the stars. A different night, another band, we can hit the bar. Exit Hayward, now we posted the bistro. Two girls and one guitar, ego, yo. I think that makes a trio. Low risk of high stakes, we can do better. Like piano at a lounge in September. Pushing bands with Sheba, she a go-getter. Hey, did you break a record? We ain't got forever, oh my. The party's on the Yoshis. I think the one out in Oakland, don't quote me. See, the moral of the story is that music is victorious. And what's a boss to a bossa? Take your shoes off when you enter mi casa. Aha, it's the Bossa 510, baby.
Music all around here. It's reflected in the water, from the mountains to the hills, from the East Bay. I see cityscape and countryside. It's the state of mind. The Bossa 510. Music all around here. It's reflected in the water, from the mountains to the hills, from the East Bay. I see cityscape and countryside. It's the state of mind. The Bossa 510. Now it won't take too long. I'm gonna play my little bossa of our home by the bay. All the places I can go, I never felt like I belong. I belong in Bossa 510. I belong in Bossa 510.
See that one? Like, hello.
Okay, we're back. We are back, and in fact, we got some entertainment and music news from our sister Joyce Spencer. And Joyce, what you got for us today?
Well, I got something in the mail the other day, a little postcard about the Spotify class action suit. Remember, I mentioned that a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and I had Study sent me a card in the mail too.
Did you get it too?
Okay.
I did. But for those of you who didn't get a card, from what I understand, when I looked it up, you are part of it, whether you file the claim or not. Well, it's not time to file the claim, but if you wanted to opt out, the deadline was September 12th. But in my thinking, why would you want to opt out?
Yeah.
I can't fathom anybody. If you think, even if it's, we're talking Spotify, so you probably get a $5 check in the mail. Okay. But but still, you want to be a part of it. So it looks like on May 26th, they entered an agreement with Spotify, settlement agreement, if you would, and where Spotify never admitted any liability, but they still came to an agreement, and they're waiting on the courts to approve the agreement and if the settlement. And so if the court approves it, then you should see something by the beginning of next year.
Okay.
But again, I mean, why would you want to opt out? If you haven't, it's too late. But I think at that time, from what I understood, at that time, once the court approves it, you'll get another notice, and you'll have to fill out a claim form to get your portion of the settlement. So it's good to somebody's out there fighting for our rights. So, and but if any of you are part of the National Music Publishers Association, NMPA, you are not qualified to receive money from this class action suit. That's me. And it's because they enter into what is called unmatched usage agreement in 2016. And so they entered into an agreement with Spotify in 2016. So they already have theirs, is the that I got.
Okay.
So, but it's still good to know. Well, we talked about it before. So just rest assured, from what I understood from the postcard I received and what I researched, even if you haven't done anything, if you are registered have your music registered with the Copyright Office,
yes,
and playing on Spotify, that's all you need to be a part or receive your portion of the class action settlement lawsuit. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I did receive a card here just recently. I can't remember if it's been about 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago or something like that, but I remember seeing it, and I thought about when you brought that up, and I was like, oh, this is that card about the Spotify.
Yes.
And,
so probably other indies have received theirs as well.
Yeah, cool.
So we'll talk about it next year. Let's see how that pans out. And we'll encourage Spotify not to continue, and others like them, to continue to gouge. I mean, when you look at, because you can Google to see Pandora's earnings or any their earnings for the year. When you see they're making millions up to billions of dollars, you're
and they're not paying the artist.
Y'all can afford it. Come on.
Of course they can. Yeah.
You can afford it.
You know?
And greed. It's called greed.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
So, it is unfortunate. So, but anyway, I saw this article that I know a lot of artists are looking at other ways to make money in the music industry, and some of us are probably pursuing pitching our music to film and TV as well, or having it synced as you know. And if you would see CD Baby, you can do that, and other services offer that to you to sync your music. But I found an article, and the article is entitled, "Never Say These 11 Phrases When Pitching Your Music for Film and TV."
This is good. Come on with it. Come on with it.
You send your music, you do not say, "I'd love your feedback." They don't have time for that. Don't ask. Big turn off. If your song doesn't work for the exact placement they are working that they are working on right now, don't fret. They may file it away and come forward at a later date. But not just what do they call them? Music supervisors.
Yes.
But when you send it to a radio station, I don't think you should do that either.
Yeah.
What do you think about my music?
Yeah, that's a no-no.
Yeah, like you're fishing for a compliment kind of thing.
Yeah, don't. You know, because I look for comments before my music is released. David, could you listen to this for me? Tell me, and I want the truth.
Yeah.
And he'll give you the truth. Sam, what do you think? Yeah, in other words, don't ask unless you want the truth, and you may not get a favorable response.
Yes.
Because once my song is released, I'm not looking for any more comments.
Right.
Because I don't ask for it, because it's done. I can't change anything, so why am I asking what you think? So, but anyway. All right. And here's number 2. I have the perfect song for you. Really?
Yeah, because you don't even know what they are, you know.
What they're looking for.
Very
Right.
subjective. And that's the point. It's very subjective, and you can't say that. But I guess that's the salesperson in us. Oh, I have the perfect car for you, whether you have it or not. But I'm saying this does not work here for music supervisors. So it may be perfect, it may not. How do you know that? So number 3. I feel like Johnny Carson right now. Was that?
Top 10.
Was him. Don't say this. Can I send my music? Well, he's saying that you just created more work for them.
Yeah.
Just send it. You know, don't say, oh, can I send my music? Just send it, okay? And, you know, for radio stations, sometimes what I do, and I introduce myself. Here it is. If you like to listen to it or whatever. And I move on. I don't follow up because they have so much.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to be careful, or just be cognizant of that they're busy people. I think once you understand that, you can approach it more logically. All right, number 4. I am a versatile producer. I have every kind of music. I'm going to read this comment. Music supervisor Holly Hung at ASCAP Music Expo said that get rich in your niche. Okay. When a producer said these exact words to her during the Q&A, they want to know what your specialty is. In other words, let me shorten this up. They really want to know what your specialty is, and they believe you're lying. You're not good at everything. Okay.
Right.
We really need to know that. What is your specialty? So, not a good thing. I know you're trying to sell, like on job applications, you may exaggerate yourself a little bit. On resumes, you may exaggerate. But this author is saying this doesn't work here. Please, okay, you need to be specific. Yeah. And maybe this is just my suggestion. What is the music that you are best at, and then put that first. If you're best at jazz, put that first, even though you do some blues and everything else. So. Yeah. Because everybody knows that composers and arrangers are bending and blending from one genre to another anyway. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do it all the time. Okay, I can clear my 30% very quickly. Now, I didn't know what that meant. Do you guys?
No. Nope.
Don't pitch a song unless you know that all parties are on board with the project and the budget and will clear it quickly. In other words, if you have co-writers. Don't say, oh, I can get that done quickly. No, have everything cleared before you submit it. If I'm a co-writer with you, Gary, then I might call you and say, you know what, I want to submit the music. Are you okay with that? Take care of those logistics first. But don't do anything until you take care of all your logistics. Because again, it's time consuming for them and they're busy. Yeah. Okay. Here's my number 7. Here's my entire catalog. It's all great. Well, no. Okay. They don't listen to 50 songs. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Again, pick your best song, your best genre. Number 8, did you get a chance to check out my song? That's what we were just
I know, that's the worst.
No, okay. And number 9, what kind of music do you need? From when I see the ones that solicit, they will tell you what kind of music they need.
Yeah, they're going to tell you, right.
Yeah. So I think I'll just go into 10 and 11. Number 10, this artist is about to blow up. Again,
No.
You know what he should say? Blow up what?
Exactly. Blow up your face, okay?
Yeah.
and number 11, my music is very syncable.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Yeah. No, my music is very syncable. Really? All music is very syncable. It's a matter of, what's the scenery? They may want something rock. I don't think there's any wrong music. It's just a matter of what they need.
What they're looking for.
Right. What are they looking for? Because, I remember I was on a movie set where Tony was acting. I said, you know, I want to see how it works. He said, Joyce, it's actually pretty boring because we repeat the same thing over and over. I said, I still want to see it.
Yeah.
Well, while we were there, the producer and director found out that he was in the band with me. He came to one of our events, our live events. He said, let me have your CD. And he called me. He said, I need 3 tracks. So what I'm saying, it was sometimes things are just
meant to happen.
In the right place in the right time.
Yeah.
So even though you have all these services that says you get your sync license to us, I think they take 50% or what have you. I think it's incumbent upon us in every area of our lives to network and meet people. You never know what happens. So, and I loved it because Sweet Dreams was in the closing scenes when 2 lovebirds came together, and in this slow motion, and Sweet Dreams is in the background. Yeah. I thought, cool. So, but that happened. I didn't solicit or anything, but and I'm sure they get a break because the thing is, if they want your music and you use a service, they can, okay, somebody said something funny.
Henry Winter's Frankenstein is very sinkable.
Yes, he is, Henry. He is very sinkable. Now, this is not so much entertainment. My heart goes out to, we were talking about the show, what is happening to the people. When I found out this video had over 4 million views, that was a couple of days ago. And the Chicago teen girl was found in a freezer.
Oh.
I was like,
wow.
You know, there are just some things that, with all due respect, that shouldn't go viral. I mean, it wasn't her. They didn't show her deceased in the freezer, but there were some mixed reports about it. One report, which I didn't read in any official article, it was a verbal, told me it was her friend that went to a party, that went to the hotel. She paid guys $200 to gang rape her, and they ended up killing her and throwing her in the freezer. But I said, something is wrong with that. Something is very, very wrong. We're 19 years old, y'all. So,
baby.
A
baby still.
A baby.
Oh my goodness.
But what I found is that she attended a party at the Crown Plaza Hotel. O'Hare Hotel, yeah. Crown Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel. And her family became concerned. She left at 11:30. They called the police. They said, you have to wait. They waited, but by Sunday they found her remains in the freezer. So they're still investigating, but the friend has video of her going viral about her and her friend being at the hotel. So the police are taking that. But at first the police told the mother that this was strange. The police told the mother, oh, she got drunk and stumbled into a freezer.
Oh my.
What? Oh my gosh.
Talking about the big locks, the big doors.
Yeah.
And that didn't sound right. And I think they're going to run tests. But that's when they realized no, because it was an area under construction and they weren't even using that freezer.
Wow.
How do you stumble upon that?
Exactly.
So it's just something that
wasn't adding up. Yeah.
Yeah, it went viral, and I'm like, okay, this is really sad. So, well, I'll try to pick it up. How much time? I'll pick it up a little bit. We all know who Oprah Winfrey is, but what I didn't know that she had teamed up with 60 Minutes earlier this year.
Oh, she did.
Yes, and she's going to. I guess what do they call them? Forget the name. It's like a magazine of sorts. 60 Minutes. The TV magazine, but they're celebrating 50 years on the air. So that's when they're projected that she will be on the show. Okay, which is genius because they didn't want to put her on right away. We're going to wait till we celebrate 50 years, and we're bringing Oprah Winfrey on board, and that's genius, great marketing. To say, but I got the impression it was the beginning of the year when she signed on, for lack of a better word, with 60 Minutes. And I just never thought of Oprah Winfrey being on 60 Minutes. And I see her show. So I I'm eager to see
how that's gonna work out. I mean,
what she's going to do, because it's not a talk show. 60 Minutes is not a talk show.
Yeah.
Well, she's interviewed several people, so I can see that working.
Yeah, I can imagine her doing that.
As far as the interview part of it, yeah.
Yes, I can see her doing that and reporting.
Her friend, what's her name?
Gail?
Yeah, Gail.
Yeah.
She does an excellent job on the that one news broadcast. As a news broadcaster, she's like one of the head with the team. I forget what channel. Probably a different channel down there where you guys are.
Right.
But yeah, every morning she's on all the time, and she's been doing it for a while. But I can imagine Oprah doing something like that.
She's one of Oprah's children. I call them Oprah's children.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Phil is one.
Yep.
And Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
And they're her children. I mean, she put them under, and they explode. That's why people say, if you go on an Oprah Winfrey show with your book, you just expect immediate success.
Yeah.
So, but on the 60 Minutes, they call her a special contributor. Okay. That's call her. So I'm just interested in seeing, what that means. But a note for 60 Minutes, they are receiving an Emmy Award on October 5th in New York. So,
cool.
So that's what I call News Magazine. I didn't realize I just called it a show. News Mag for short. So, but in 50 years, guys.
Wow.
But 60 Minutes averaged 12.42 million viewers over its 49th season. Made Nielsen's top weekly list 22 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's success. That's serious success. So, but that's all I have for today.
Oh, can I just have a quick one? Just just we talked about it off the air. On September 3rd, I found out that one of the from the duo, collaboration, big time group Steely Dan, their bass player Walter Becker passed away. They still don't know exactly what happened when I read that article, but they found him dead in his home, and he was 67 years old.
Dang.
So I mean, I love that group. I've unfortunately never got to see them live because they hardly ever came to this part of Texas, and if they did, I couldn't afford the ticket.
Right.
So, but I mean, they're just like one of the legendary groups, and they were such a fusion, and because they had like some jazz, some R&B, some rock. I mean, everything was infused in their music, and I loved it.
And I love the signature sounded of what's the singer
Donald Fagen. Donald Fagen.
Man, yeah, he's always on.
Yeah, he has a distinctive voice. I mean, he still not have, but still has.
Amazing.
But I loved, like I said, I love all their music that was ever played on terrestrial radio. But when they came out with the song FM, I mean, that just blew me out of the water. I love that song.
Yeah.
Love that song. But yeah, he will be greatly missed.
Yeah,
definitely.
Dang.
And then, did anybody attend the Janet Jackson concert by chance?
No, but we were after you left last week when you had to go to the gig. Me and David had a little discussion about that because we saw some footage on Facebook that was, it was crazy. It was.
So I said basically it was porn on stage, and Gary goes, "Yep."
Yeah, pretty much.
She did say Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Yes,
she did.
So that's how it went. I was just curious. She usually puts on a very good show.
Oh yeah.
But what did you guys see? Some footage or some pictures or what?
Yeah, somebody posted a section of her concert where she would, and I don't know if this was the same concert that particular one that I don't know what city it was at, but because it was when we saw this, it was last week on Facebook.
Okay.
But somebody had like the footage of when she brought a gentleman on the stage and did some seducing.
Oh, she did that again?
Yeah, but this time she took it to another level.
It was raw years. I went to one years ago only because my best friend Lainey, her sister, was singing background.
Okay.
And she gave some tickets. Yeah. And when we got to that part, everything was fine. And when we got to that part, we're like, no, she didn't. And then Lainey had her daughter at the time was still in high school, and she was like, but I mean, she had him, the man from the audience, laid out on some type of platform with his arms and legs stretched out, and then they raised him up vertically, and she climbed. That's all I'm gonna say. Wow.
Well, think of that. Think of that, and then 10 times more.
What you saw was the clean version, obviously.
and wow. Or I don't know who to feel sorry for, because the poor guy that was on the platform, whatever you call it, he was sweating, panting, because he.
Well, gee, I wonder why.
So you answered my question without realizing. That's what I want to know. Yeah. But when I tell you everything else was fine, I mean that literally. Everything else was fine.
Oh,
the show,
she definitely
good dancing, good choreography, good band, everything. And she was nice, because before the show, we went to meet Julie. And she said, come on and meet Janet. And she was very personable, took pictures and everything. So
yeah.
And little, she was a little bit. And she was even tinier at that time, because it's been a minute since I saw that.
Right.
So in other words, do not take your children.
I saw her, I only got to see her once, and only because I was working that night as an interpreter when I still did that. And it was on her Velvet Rope tour.
Oh, okay.
And it was an awesome show. The dancing was fabulous. The band was hot, and she was in great shape and everything. And she was just kicking it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe when I saw that. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this woman?
You don't need it. Another example of you really didn't need that, because your show was already hot. It was already hot.
And talented. She's got great people backing her up, great choreographers. I mean, she's got all that. She doesn't need to go to that extent. You know, I'm just saying. I was like, what happened to our little Janet Jackson?
Did you get to see it, Grizz?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
And that's okay. I really don't want to. I don't want to have midgets burning to my corneas ever. It was bad enough when I saw her, when she, of course they blurted out when it was her and Michael, that one song that they're like in a spaceship.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's like grabbing herself, and then she shot the finger. I'm like, really? Okay. I'm like, there's anger, and then there's just like over the top.
Right. So okay, you answered my question, Gary. Thank you very much. I see.
Okay.
I think I'll just wait till Charles, last name Wilson, come back in town. I don't have to worry about that. Uncle Charlie. Just wait for Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie. Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get ready to skate on out of here. Get your skates on. Go old school.
Get on out of here.
Yeah. But everybody have a great weekend, and we want to thank Kea Michaels for being on the show as well, and hope you all enjoyed the show. And of course, we'll have an archive of the show later on today. And everybody have a wonderful weekend, and then for those locally, I hope you enjoy the fair. We have the Oklahoma State Fair is going on this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, next week. So it'll be down y'all way right after. It always goes to Texas right after it leaves Oklahoma. So that means that we'll probably get some heavy rains here this week, because every time, I swear, it never fails. When that fair comes, every year it rains. It rains hard. Yes, at least a few days. You have
cursed the fair.
Yeah. So take your umbrellas if you're going. But anyway, y'all have a great weekend, and I'm going to pass it over to Joyce and Grizz.
Okay.
Like they'll be singing in the rain.
Yeah, but you guys were so funny, because when I got to the place where I was playing last Saturday, the lady came to the car. She said, "I'm so sorry, we're not in the building. I'm waiting on the guy with the key."
Oh.
So, okay, let me see if I can find him. Yeah, you keep talking about me. My husband fell out laughing.
Oh man, that's funny.
It's so funny. I heard a fight. I said, how do I get to the chat? So I heard you. I'm not planning to get on the chat. So when I heard y'all talking about me, I thought it was hilarious.
So funny.
Joyce took the bandwidth or something. She took it with her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was David.
David. But somebody else blamed me first. I think it was you, Gris.
Because I said, yeah, because we're talking, since you guys brought up Gremlins, you know.
Yes.
That's why it was attacking David. I said, that was Joyce's fault for bringing in the Gremlins. And then you go, that's what you said, that you took the band with you.
But I thought the band with you. I thought that was great. That's when Barry.
That was a good play on words, and Jeff.
We both got it, so it was kind of cool. I said, well, maybe I can at least tune in and hear the show. So I'm glad it worked out.
Cool.
That way that David was able to come in. So, but I think that might work. Cause I'm hoping y'all praying.
Now y'all know we're still on the air, right?
That I'll start moving around more, you know. So I'm hoping. See what happens. You have people calling. Until I see and even when you have a contract,
hello,
who are you waving?
Yeah, we're still on the air.
I'm waiting on y'all to go out. I'm waiting on
Just
y'all
say goodbye,
to say goodbye,
Joyce. So that way you can say goodbye, so I can say goodbye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Say goodnight. Say goodnight, Christy. All right.
Hey, I just got really goofy. Okay, how do I do? If you could see me, okay, get my professional face. I really want to thank all of you for joining us today. We had a fabulous time. Kea, you're wonderful, darling. Your music is wonderful. Your story was wonderful. And of course, guys, hey, you know we have fun here. We talk about just about everything. So next Saturday, make sure you invite a friend and say, hey, you need to listen to this. Let's build this up to be with 1 million listeners. So because Gary Fuston supports independent artists, it's the indie live spot. So help us get the word out and invite people in. All right. My name is Joyce Spencer, in case you don't know. Miss Spencer, if you're nice.
Okay, my turn. Thank you guys for joining us, chat room gang. Thank you so much for keeping us entertained. Kea, oh, it was such a pleasure to finally meet you and to have you on the show. Oh my gosh, we had a blast with you. Take care, guys. You know, just be careful out there if you're still within that area that got hit by the hurricane. You know, our prayers are still with you.
Yeah.
And just, you know, be careful. Take it just one step at a time and get to those people that can help you get back on your feet. Okay. All right, my peeps. Thank you again, and please join us next week. And like Joyce said, invite a friend to come on in and, you know, listen, to sit a spell and listen. Okay. Thanks again, guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, my peeps. Love you. All right, dude.
Okay. Well, we're out, and y'all join us next week. And of course, I'm not sure if we're gonna have a
Gary never said goodbye. You need to say one too.
Well, I did. I did it first, and then I
Gary.
gave it to you guys.
Okay. Oh, my bad.
Now he's just closed me completely. Take 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame it on Matt.
Yeah, who didn't show up today, of course. Anyway, call him out. Oh, and also next week we do have a guest. It will be Katie I think it's Burgess. Yeah, she'll be on next week, so y'all look out for that. We'll have some information about it and all that kind of good stuff. So definitely tune in. She's a great artist. I heard her music and I was really impressed. Very impressed. She's out of the Atlanta area. In fact, I want to thank Keith, the jazz man. He forwarded that over to us. So
Lord V.
Okay. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a great one.
All right.
Ciao.